Powered by the Zapata Bread Studio. This is Straight Outta Jersey with Jersey Jay-Z.
What's up, guys? Joe Zapata here with the one and only Larry Mazza, looking chill with those glasses.
I wanted to look like a gangster, so I figured I'd throw glasses on. Now, only gangsters wear sunglasses at night. So
exactly. How you doing, Larry?
I'm great. Great.
Yeah. I saw you on John Livia, and then I saw Little Linda putting out a lot of comments, which I have right here. I'm going to pull it up on the screen because we're going to talk about it. Little Linda put out some comments, and she's sort of been coming at you really hard. And she has here, Larry is a convicted felon, a murderer, not a good guy. Brags about his kills and thinks he's a good guy. Convicted felons cannot make money off their crimes. Larry Mazza is a predator who wanted every woman in my father's life. There's a sick person, LOL. He thinks he's relevant, and he's not at all. Okay, and she's going to show the world. I got to ask you, Larry.
Yeah,
she's a hypocrite because of her father. You know, what do you think about all this?
Well, you could dissect it sentence by sentence. I did that on one of the podcasts already, and you know, it's funny too now because I'm fighting two factions. I said that on another podcast. It's like different. You know, it's like when I fought Vicarina with her father and we had to kill people. That was okay. Now I'm fighting two factions. She's calling me convicted murderer. The other faction saying I'm a nobody. I never did anything in my life. I'm, you know, calling me spider and things like that, which is so silly after 20 years of people following me and knowing better. You're just insulting everybody's intelligence. That's number one. The thing about the book or making money on crimes. They're all doing it. Okay? Yes. They're all doing it. All right. There's books written about them. She's been on shows promoting her father's name, promoting, the movie that's coming out with Mark Wahlberg. It's the American way. I got no problem with that. But don't tell me I don't have a right to make money. I'm not part of the Son of Sam law. That's New York. I'm a federal convict. Okay. And this is how hypocritical even the feds are. That's why they sleep so well with the mob guys. That's why the whole world works out well, because they can have corrupt agents writing books. They can have prosecutors writing books. They can have guys that hate our president writing books. Even good agents and good. It's the American way. Nobody cares. It's capitalist. You go make money. Okay. When we were in the street making money, and it was all going, a lot of it was going above my head to your father and whatever else, that was okay. Okay. They were fine with that capitalistic approach. Now you want to say, I'm making money on.
Doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense. You know, that's the jealousy part, because now I'm making the money. Years ago, they were.
Yes.
Okay. And one of the podcasts I just did, she said that I'm irrelevant and I'm jealous of this, Mark Wahlberg. I'm past all of that. Okay. There's nothing they can do for me.
No.
I do it on my own. I'm self-made on top of being made. I'm self-made again in my new world.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
And let's take a look at it. Here's one of your cards. Okay. I'm going to push it right up here.
You know what card that is? Okay.
No.
I got the greatest friends, and I actually helped out one of my buddies that is one of the other factions now, a Kia dealer. So when I bought that car, that's a Stinger. It's a Kia.
Wow.
But I told him, you know what? I love this car. It's my favorite car I ever had, believe it or not. And when they called me and says, hey, I could get you $14,000 more than you paid, I gave it back. But they discontinued it. I wish I still had it. But the point is, I said, I want that car, but I want you to put in Lambo doors and take the Kia symbol off. I would go to a restaurant, okay? And people would be looking at the car. And I'd come out and say, kidding around, it's an Aston Martin, the newest one. Wow, it's beautiful. And then I'd say, no, it's a Kia. It's a Stinger. No, it's not. They're arguing with me on my own car. So, but I love that. I love that car.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, it goes to me. I'm earning. How many people say, hey, give me Lambo doors? I work real hard.
You do.
Around the clock. I start 6 a.m. I get online. I take care of my consulting business. I go to the gym. I train people all day. You got the picture up there right
here.
now?
This is the gym, right?
Yeah. Yes. That picture was taken when we were redoing the floor. That's why there's nobody on that part of it. But I mean, they'll probably say, oh, there's nobody in the gym. That's the outside. Same thing. As we were doing the outside, where we have a lot of kickboxing stuff. We have a lot of, what do you call that other thing? CrossFit. I call it boot camp. I was doing boot camps before CrossFit ever got even known. So I still do them out there. Oh, there's one of my fighters. Well, not my fighters, but I had a fighting club. I taught for a while. I trained with these guys. This guy happens to be under a dear friend, Dave DeQuala. And
you look good, Larry, man. You look great.
Oh, thank you. That's about that one's probably about let me think, 4 years ago, if that long. Yeah, I got gray up there, so that means it's less than 5 years.
And then you have this picture here that we're going to show right now.
Yep, Nick Pileggi. He when I met him, his first words to me were, "Larry, you wrote a mob classic." I was, you guys say, "Oh, he was humbled." I was really humbled to hear it from him, the king of genre stories. He told me that. And then I heard it again from Terry Winter later on. So these are the top. Yeah, there's
Robert Davi, I think is
Robert Davi. Yep,
Davi, correct.
We met him because he was on the set of Tulsa King with my fellow hitman and the Irishman, Craig DeFrancia. You'll see him later on. And they were talking about the script that we have written. That's Craig right there with Mike Madsen, and he is very interested in possibly playing Greg Scarpa in my story, in my life story.
Yes.
Okay. So
that's really great.
We'll see, but it's not the people are interested. That again, that's me with Craig DeFrancia, Big Bob Milandovich. He was one of the cops that was first on the scene of the Nicky Black hit, and later on, we became friends. And he is now one of the security for De Niro, Robert De Niro, and that's how I got involved with becoming the consultant for the Irishman and also getting a small piece, small part. And it's very important, you know.
And here's your beautiful wife. Obviously, that people that, oh, he's gay. He's not gay.
I'm gay. Yeah, she's with me because I'm gay. And she's always under attack. And listen to me. You look at that picture.
She's beautiful.
One word. Well, thank you. One word is jealous.
Yes.
Because lately, one of these people that I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to anymore. I gave I gave a messenger my word I wouldn't. And I didn't, but there was some podcasts out already.
Correct.
We're not going to be stopped. So, but I'm not going to tell you who said this, but she's been threatened. She's been, all called names. And the latest thing, after all the names I've been called, Little Linda calls me a bully. I did that on the last podcast. We'll talk about it. But this other one, I won't mention the name, is talking about my appearance.
Yes.
Talking about my hair, my face, my physique. Are you that obsessed? I'm doing podcasts for 20 years. I never made fun of somebody who had to put glue on their head to hold a wig. I never made fun of somebody who shaved their head because they have no hair. No offense, Joe.
No offense taken.
I never made fun of somebody that, put fake teeth in. I don't have fake teeth. Those are real.
They're all real, right?
They're
all
white
real.
and they're real. But if somebody had to get teeth put in them, what am I going to say? Oh, look, he's got fake teeth. That's like when you really have nothing else to do but attack, and it gets to a point where it's overdone.
Yeah.
Every time. And I said on the last podcast, what are you going to come up with next? You went through liar, gay, racist, predator, which backfired because people were questioning who the real predators are.
Correct.
Based on who they've been with, at what age. Okay. And a bully, you're calling me a bully. That was Little Linda. And the other faction is saying I never did anything. I'm a nobody. I'm a spider. Okay.
So which one is it?
Yeah. Which one is it? It's obvious that just like it came out, it's all about the money again.
Yes.
It's all about money. They want to be paid. They're getting paid for these podcasts. And obviously, nobody's going to follow them or get really a lot of views unless my name comes up.
Of course.
And that's unfortunate because some of them have stories to tell. Go tell it. Go tell your story like a classy person that has a good story to tell.
Yep, 100%.
None of our stories is going to be, on PG. They're all going to be rated R. They're all going to be violent. They're all going to have drugs and sex and everything else, But go tell those stories.
Yes, 100%. Now,
book.
I don't know Little Linda. I don't know her, but I do know people who went to school with her at Bishop Ford Central High, Catholic High. They told me, and they said, hey, by Park Slope section of Brooklyn, they said she wasn't an angel. Okay. So for her to throw stones at you, it doesn't make sense.
No, it makes sense for the one thing I keep saying. It's a jealousy.
Yes.
All right. She thinks I'm making money on her father's name. Mm-hmm. It's not true at all. His name isn't on my gym. His name is not on Inside Straight. His name wasn't on my supper club. His name was nowhere other than my life story, which is incredibly unique and totally true, except for perceptions. People can have perceptions from what they heard or what they were told. And that doesn't just pertain to my book. It pertains to everything in life. Okay? Yep. Perception wins out over the truth. And my wife taught me that once before. And the other thing is, in a lot of these books and things, people, and it didn't happen in my book because I wrote it and the editor only had to handle grammar. And I didn't make that many mistakes. I'm pretty good with that.
Yep.
Okay? But the best producers, writers, and I seen it, where they tried to write the script based on my book and they went a little overboard, like saying, like to try to get that shock value.
Yes.
How bad Greg was. I mean, you don't need it. Just write the story to book. I didn't pull any punches. Nope. They want to add that he grabbed the guy's head and he sliced his face in the the supermarket polka thing.
Yeah.
Now, anybody that knows my book or knows me, well, I've never said that. Now you're going to make a liar out of me. So I said, no, take that out. He beat this guy up or had us beat him up. He might have kicked the guy out. He might have hit him with the hammer. There's things that I've seen.
Yep.
But what they say is never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Correct.
No, so that's going to happen. But if you have a history book, they're boring. That's why we hated our history books and we don't really read them. We'd rather read mob books. Yeah. They're more fun to read.
If you were such a bad guy, as they say, why would they make you the godfather of his son Joey?
Well, I have no answer. That's it's a rhetorical question, and it's a great question. And you caught me off guard. I didn't ask you to bring that up.
No.
You might have heard me talk about that somewhere else. But yeah, he picked me.
They
picked me. Yes, because I took him to ball games. I took him to karate. I made him become a little karate star. He was really good. I used to drive him to school, make sure he went in. But hours later, he'd be at the club. I mean, I wasn't the father. I couldn't force him, but I tried. Okay.
Yep.
In one of the books that was written about one of Greg's kids, I was called a big brother to them. Okay. And for a lot of years I was in the years we were all together, the 10 years that I was there, or 12, whatever it was. The first 2 it was just me and her, or first year and a half, Big Linda. Then it branched out to me being part of the family, and then I met Greg's whole family and his other families.
Yeah.
So it's a progression, and then of course it all came to an end during the war. Everybody went away, and we didn't see each other for years. But
let me ask you.
Yeah.
Little Linda, when she was almost molested by the limo driver, Jose Guzman, I think his name was.
Yes.
That was his name, Jose Guzman. And I think Greg called you and maybe Jimmy to take care of this guy.
I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you the story right now. And it's good because most of the people, it was Bishop Ford. He was driving her to Bishop Ford.
Yes.
Okay. He would drive her there a lot. This one day he decided to maybe make a move on her. Okay. And there's a lot to this story. He didn't rape her.
No.
Doesn't make it right that he tried.
No.
So I remember Greg getting the phone call. I was the first one he came to. I don't think Greg Jr. was there yet. He was probably
still
later in the day. No, he wasn't locked up.
Okay.
But he was coming later in the day.
Okay.
I won't get into the details why, but he was starting to come later and later instead of early with the rest of us.
Okay.
Greg says, Larry, Carmine says, the future consigliere.
Consigliere.
My cousin Joey, who was with me, and Sally Cash.
Okay.
Okay. We go to the car service after he told us what happened. The car service guy did not want to give up his driver. Greg leaned over and said something to him. Whatever he said, we had the address in 2 seconds.
Wow. Okay.
So we go to the house. The wife answers the door. He comes, and you can see he's concerned. He should have never came out. He should have slammed that door and locked him. He came out. He started taking a walk. Greg took him up front, about, I don't know, 15, 20 feet ahead of us. And he had this fake cane that I brought him back from Jamaica. It was supposed to be an unbreakable cane. Okay. So we're walking. We get to a park.
Okay.
And he's talking to him. And the four of us are laying back. Greg reaches for his handkerchief. I knew that was I knew it. That was the sign he's ready for us to come over.
Okay.
We go over, and the first shot is from Big Greg. He hits him with the cane. It breaks. I was sick because I brought him that cane back, and I said, this cane is never going to break. So anyway, the four of us now beat this guy half to death. Had it coming to him.
Of course.
Right. This girl was, 15, 14 years old, and you take her to a park. No problem with that. As a matter of fact, I had to pull one of the guys off because he was on top of him so mad. Sally, may he rest in peace. He was a funny guy. But now, when I got him off, we were able to go to work on the guy and bust him up. Okay. So we leave him there, and we go. We think it's over. Okay. And somebody keeps putting it in his ear. I'm not going to say who. Somebody, maybe I did in the book. I don't even know. I probably did in the book. So you should have killed him. You didn't do enough. You didn't do enough. And it wasn't Little Linda.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, later on, after she heard that the guy did get whacked, it didn't sit well with her. Okay. But that's neither here nor there. It is. It's important. So I'm not. It's not like she was the one telling you we had to kill him. So it kept working up in Greg like he didn't do enough. And I remember talking to him about it. I says, Greg, I says, listen, we hurt this guy really bad. He spent like 6 weeks in the hospital. Wow. Ribs, bones, jaw, you name it. I mean, so much was broken.
You gave him a beating. Yeah, you gave him a beating.
A few more shots, they said he would have been dead.
Whew.
Okay. So I said, isn't it almost better that this guy has a tale to tell? That, like, what are we going to kill him for? We already taught him a lesson. Now, if he had done a little bit further, but Greg trusted me and he listened to me, and we thought it was done. Long story short, it kept working up. And we went on, we had a plan where we would just keep calling the car service. I was in on it. I wasn't a shooter. Okay. I was around close enough, driving and coming back, that it was in my indictment too, But we eventually got him to be the car service driver, and it was a pretty good hit. It was a really good hit. And when I say that, it was like, it wasn't easy. Okay. The guy that did it, because he got out of the car and started running away. And I think it's known. I think it's known. I think it's known who did it. But I'll leave it at that. But he chased him down. And the funny thing is, Scappy, the captain, when the plan was in, the permission was given, and Big Greg told me this too. He says he's putting it on record because there's no way they could turn him down. It's his daughter, and I got it. And he says he puts as many on record as he can because he likes to, but it's like when he has to do one off the record, they won't come back and say it was him because he always puts it on record. Yes. And when he put it on record, Scappy had specifically said that Larry and Greg Jr. cannot be on this. It's too personal. That's how close we all were.
Wow.
Okay. But after he left, we made the plan and we were both in on it to some extent.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So no, that was one of those early on. It was early, maybe 84, I guess, something like that. Again, there was a lot of things, a lot of hits, a lot of different levels.
Yes.
So I can't remember exactly the year, but if I had to guess, I'd say 84, 83.
And when Greg Sr. got his eye shot out that night, you weren't around, but you were the first one they wanted to call. I think it was like Little Linda and Linda said, call Larry, right?
I was there earlier.
You were there early. Okay.
The beef that started that whole situation was over drugs. I had nothing to do with it. I really didn't want to be involved, but
with Joey, right? With Joey.
Because now he got into that business.
Yes.
And he shouldn't have. And his father shouldn't have let him. But they want to make him a saint. Fine. I don't like him a lot for that reason, too. Because that was my godson. All right. So when I got the call, I went. I was loyal to the old man. It was Linda's son. He was my godson. So I said, let me go try to talk to this guy and see if we could patch this up, figure it out. I go out to the car. Greg, the kid Joey had a gun on him. I took the gun. I locked it in the glove compartment. I said, we're not going to kill this guy. I said, let's go. Let me see what we can do here. So we couldn't find him. Okay, they knew there was a situation, probably the other side, that we had to beat with. So they were not around. Wherever they went, they went. I don't know. They weren't at the spot. They weren't at this place, the luncheonette, whatever. So now I go home again, and now I get the frantic call. I just barely got my clothes off to get settled in on the couch, and I hear Linda just total lunatic on the phone. Oh yeah, I think Joey got killed. I mean, it was a horror. So I get back in the car. I go back. On the way back, I see that very block. There's law enforcement, firemen, ambulances, FBI cars, or unmarked cars. So I go right by. I go to the house. I get to the house, and right outside is the same car I was in earlier, trying to end this situation. And when I came back, I told Greg, I said, Greg, let it go. Let's go try to find this guy tomorrow, cool the heads. And he agreed with me. But as soon as I left, somebody got under him again, and he went out. And he had to have, so he had to shoot out. So anyway, I go, I see the kid in the back of the car, Joey Randazzo, 18 years old. He's hunched in the back seat, going, he's gasping to stay alive. His body's stopping, but even dying, your body still wants that oxygen. I go up the steps. I pass Little Linda. I said something about calling an ambulance. I get in the house. Greg is on the phone with his probation department because he's got an ankle bracelet on.
Yes, he got an ankle.
The house. He's bleeding profusely. Big Linda looks like she's ready for the nut house. She thinks Joey's dead. I go, and there's no bodies. Joey's apparently not dead. I mean, I didn't know for sure. The ambulance took him away, but there was no blood, no. Well, I shouldn't say no blood, but there was no bodies laying around. I go back, and I says, and even Greg asked me, was he there? What happened was, when the shooting started, he ran through a driveway, and some younger kids hit him. Okay. So he didn't get killed. Thank God at that point. So now I got to drive Greg to the hospital. There's 3 or 4 hospitals within 10 minutes. He insists I take him all the way to the hospital that saved him from dying of AIDS, which is Lexington Avenue in the 90s in Manhattan. So I got to go through toll booths with cops. I got a guy dying in the seat next to me. And take him on a 40-minute ride to Lexington Avenue. I get him there. I walk him in, and the nurse comes over, and she says, what happened? I said, he fell, and I think a pipe went in his eye. What am I going to say?
Yeah, exactly.
So they lay him on the gurney. They bring him in. She comes out, and she looks at me like Nurse Ratched. She says, you stay right here. I said, okay, you want me to fill out the paper, right? So I make believe I'm filling out the paper. As soon as she walks away, I go to the door. Greg is laying on the gurney like this. And I says, Greg, I got to get out of here. He goes like this to me. The last time I seen him in the free world.
That was last time.
Was late then. I had to go on the lam. He got arrested and different things happened. And as I get outside, as soon as I get outside, I hear sirens, cops turning, the lights on. You know, guy got shot.
Yeah, of course.
But I left. I got out of there, and yeah. So that night was like there's not a lot of guys that would have been there for him like that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, a lot of guys might not answer the phone.
Yep.
But that's where I was loyal to a fault.
Yes, and that's why I don't understand Little Linda is you were almost a big brother to Joey and her and
Godfather.
Godfather, and you were just around them. Like, how is she throwing these jabs at you now? It's got to be jealousy. I don't know why.
Well, it's that, and it's also she can't face the truth about her father. She wants to deflect it to me.
Yes.
Like in the last podcast I did, I didn't know, but she puts her face up into the camera and says, "You were the star witness, the star witness, the star." I mean, she's trying to convince somebody of something. I wasn't the star witness. As a matter of fact, when the corruption came out and cases started falling apart, they didn't even want me anymore because basically I had all the info on the scanner that we were listening to, the fake FBI stuff we were privy to. A lot of things I had led them in that direction. Plus, they want to call me a liar. And I mentioned this on the last one. I didn't lie. But there's times where I didn't say everything or tell everybody's name. I mean, if me and Jimmy did the shooting and 4 or 5 other guys were in the other car, you know, I didn't name everybody in the car. I said there was a crash car. That's, whoever Greg said. You know, now that we knew he was bad already. And Carmine Sessa, because we had to report to him. There's a lot in 302s that are not accurate. Not only me, I read them. I read a ton of 302s when I was fighting the case. And I'm saying to myself, where did he come off saying that? But here's what happens. I said it in the other podcast. They will take bits and pieces from everybody. They'll black out what they want blacked out. They'll black out the top echelon informer said this, because that's Greg Scarpa. He's the top echelon informer. Scratch his name out. Keep him quiet. And Larry said this. Carmine said this. Somebody else said this. Somebody else said this. And they paint the picture for the jury. But they don't say that I also said this. I also said that Greg didn't say this is for Carmine. They left that in there. Yeah. Because it was evidence. So the 302s, let's not become like we're government agents, like we're the FBI. Oh, the 302 said this. Those 302s, they're meaningless. Okay? If they were going to be meaningful, they should have taped you everything you said. Then the defense could hold you to it. But the 302s, it's just only an interpretation of what the person is saying. And they write down what they want. Yeah.
So, Little Linda, she wrote a book also, and she said she didn't want to hurt people, glorified his life because it destroyed her family. Right. But recently, Greg Jr., and I'm going to just hit you with this a little bit. He claims that you tried to sleep or kiss or whatever with Little Linda. I mean, come on.
Well, again, I'll go back to what I said before.
Correct.
You can worry about your own sex life. You want to bring sex into this now?
Yes.
None of us are angels.
No.
Okay. He was no angel.
No.
She was no angel. We all had our whatever.
Correct.
Where does that come up? What are you going to bring that up for? You're going to make, Little Linda out to be, I said Snow White in the last one. I'll say Cinderella in this one. She's not.
No,
I wasn't. You're not.
No.
What does that have to do with our life stories?
Correct.
You want to bring up every girl I slept with? You don't have enough pages in your book. But really, what does that mean?
I don't. Crazy.
I don't get that. And then somebody that I don't even know.
Okay.
One in particular, but there's been a bunch I have to answer back that are claiming they tried to involve themselves in this show that she did, which I'll never watch it. I see bits and pieces, that clips like people show me. Like I told you, she kept saying, star witness, you're the rat, you're the rat. She just keeps saying the same thing over and over. There's not much to say, obviously. But I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
Greg Jr. saying what he said about you sleeping, whatever, you know.
Yeah. I mean, what does that have to do with anything?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Are you going to say next that I'm like the guy from Star Trek? I slept with Martians and I slept with. Is that the next story you're going to come out with? Larry sleeps with Martians.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Anything to bring my name into it to get hits. That's why I'm phasing their names out.
Yes.
Anything I'm going to do moving forward, I'm not going to talk about Little Linda anymore. Again, unless she comes up with some other something new. If she calls me a rat again, I'm not going to answer again. I already diffused that. Her father's a rat, not me. Or more of a rat than I was.
Yes.
But I always said you can't be half pregnant. You make the move, you make the move. I'll do it again under the same circumstances. And I've done things in my life, and I probably still do, that I am never going to say anything to anybody that doesn't need to know. Okay? I still to this day have never called the cops in my life. Even when I had the beef in front of my place constantly, my gym. I think you know a little bit about that.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yes.
Yeah. I never, and when the trainers and the people that work there, when the people that work there in my gym would tell me, you know, why don't we call the cops? And I said, listen, I'm not going to do that. I'll handle it. But if I'm not here and you need to, go right ahead. You know, they're girl trainers. I'm not. So I wound up getting in a fight with a bunch of guys. Well, it could have been a bunch. It was two. It could have been more. But I didn't call the cops. It's not in my nature. You know, it's just, and it's, you know, but in those circumstances, it was way beyond. It was way beyond cop calling. Now I'm under the bus, and you know, she wants to say I was the bad guy. Yes. If you want to say that, at least put a little asterisk next to it. My father was worse than him.
Yes, 100% agree with you. I mean,
most people do with a rational mind.
Yeah.
But I'm saying what I was leading to is people are calling up and saying they want to make a comment. If she doesn't like it, she deletes it or abuses them. And so Larry must have told you to call up. This one girl in particular, she left me 4 or 5 notes. How dare this girl do that to me? I'm watching her show. I called up with some questions. I think one of the questions was, did you ever kiss Larry? What the frig is that even being brought up to her? Based on probably something she said or something you just said. So now this person calls up, and now you want to rip them apart for calling and asking that question? You should have brought up your sex life. You know? And the other thing is, she's still trying to say that the father didn't know. So first of all, that doesn't do any justice to your father's brains. No. He was, well, somebody in one of the factions called him an evil genius. And it wasn't me. Somebody in one of the factions said that in one of the interviews. Okay. I didn't bring up that. As a matter of fact, I asked how would you describe him? Okay. It's kind of tough. I said he was a master manipulator. There's other words too. There's people that called him, you know, all kinds of things. Yeah. So, you know, if you're going to do it, be consistent. Don't say I'm bad. That's like calling the pot black when you're in a kettle. If you're going to call me bad, call everybody else in this circle bad.
100%.
And if you're going to call me a predator, be ready for people that know who the real predators were. You know? Those things. And if you're going to talk about my looks and my appearance, that I do. I'm egotistical and healthy. It's not only ego. There's a lot of health. I live in the sun. I'm not going to let skin cancer ravage me. I got a 2-inch thing here that I had to cut out because I used to ride my bike every day, and the sun would hit my shoulder, and it started oozing. So I had that thing. So that made me say, "Holy cow! I mean, this is bad." So yeah, I go at least twice a year. They burn stuff off my body, my face, anything that looks like it could develop into something. I should be ashamed of that. Should I be ashamed? Should somebody be ashamed because they get teeth put in? I mean, it's so stupid. But they're running out of things to slander me on. So now they're doing my appearance and my looks and my nose and whatever. But my answer to that is look in the mirror first. Yes. And if you feel you are a lot healthier looking and a lot more whatever, then talk. If you're Brad Pitt, you can say it. But in this circle, there's not too many people that should be talking about my appearance. No.
And I think maybe too, no one likes their mother to be the one that's been sleeping around. It's kind of, you don't want to think that about your mother.
Listen, I never said that. I didn't say she
that's
slept
true.
around. I never said that. I thought I was an exclusive for 10 years.
Yep.
But for her to say on her podcast, her mother did it behind his back. You're not only making him look like a fool, now you're making her look like she slept around. Because if that's the case, was I the one and only? How many guys did she do it with behind his back? Is that how you want her to go out? Shut up. That's never come out. I don't believe it. I don't think she was that type. I think she wanted a little bit more for herself when he was out with his others.
Yes.
And it was an agreement between adults, and I was the youngest of the adults. And it went on for a long time. Okay, there's no way you're going to go out there and insult people's intelligence and tell them he didn't know after all this time. And there's documents, and there's the newspaper came out with a story, but again, you can't believe everything they say. But a lot of it went out, and the government allowed it because of tapes that were heard of us talking to each other, and it was apparent there's something special going on there.
Yeah, so, he had other families. Greg Sr. had like 2 other families.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not going to argue that because it's already been proven. It's not you don't need me to tell you these things. I just had to do something on my
no problem.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
Greg Jr. and Little Linda, how was their relationship growing up? Were they okay or?
Yeah, I think it was okay. Yeah, okay. Good. And because the old man, early on, one of the interviews we did, Greg said he felt a little bad early on that his father had another family, whatever, and that's normal. Nothing wrong with that. But he learned a life like I did, and you just shut up and you listen. That's his life. That's what he's doing, and then you think it's all right, and we all do it to an extent. But I think they were fine. I think they were good. But I'll tell you this: since I came home, and everybody else came home, there's a lot of Machiavelli shit was going on.
Oh yeah.
He would tell me one thing. This faction would tell me one thing about this faction. This faction would tell me one thing about that faction. They'd call me, and I was always like, what do they look information or why do you want to divide and conquer everything? But now they're 2 factions but with the same motive, and their stories never line up.
Nope.
They just don't line up. Like I said, to be repetitious, I hate doing that, but I'm either a convicted felon, bad guy just trying to make money. The other one says I was a nobody that never did anything. It was okay back then making all the money and doing anything and everything to make money. But now I'm making money and it's not good.
Yeah. And then recently Greg Jr. was on another show and he was saying that when he was on your podcast and your show that you paid him to say some things or you told, and that's not true. You didn't pay him. The producer, I guess, whatever. I don't know the whole story.
The producer paid him just like he paid everybody else that came on the show I was hosting. Okay, we were both doing the same thing. I asked questions. I didn't have a script, and I liked it better when the person I was interviewing talked. And I got a lot of compliments about that. It was good. You asked a question and you let them answer and talk, and they said some things that I didn't even ask for or pull out. They said, and some things I tried to subdue, but they kept doing it. And it's the same thing there. So my answer to that would be, you did it for money then, and now look at you now. Now you're doing it again on podcasts. But the only thing is to slander me, get these Jerry Springer podcasts going. So how else are you going to get views if you don't bring me into it? That's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to even say that. Tell your story. If you have a great story, Sammy the Bull's a perfect example.
Okay.
At first, he told his story, but it seemed to be more the John Gotti story over and over and over. And somebody must have said something. So he started talking more about his own things that he did. Then he ran out of those. He started talking about other people. He talked about Greg. He talked about Greg Jr. He called me and said he's going to do a thing on the Nicky Black hit. So did I care? Do I mind? Not that it mattered. I thought he was being courteous, showing a little bit of friendship. I said, yeah, I'd love to hear your version. You weren't even there. I was there, kidding around about it. So he did something on that. Everybody's doing it, trying to make money. And but one thing I don't make money on, I said it a zillion times, podcasts. I don't need it. I have enough. And if I could keep promoting myself, and that's why I want it to be positive.
Yes, you want to be positive, which you have your book out, The Life, which is available on Amazon. And also you can order it from Larry Mazza, thelife.com.
Larry Mazza life.com. Yeah.
Yes. And you autograph it for people too, correct?
Yeah.
You will autograph it for people when they send it? Yes.
Everyone I send out. Yep. There it is.
I'm putting up a picture of the book right now, which is available. Yes. Why doesn't, Greg Jr. should have, with all your contacts in the industry and everyone you know and things you've done on TV, and why didn't he use that to help him grow instead of bashing you? That's what he should have done.
Well, we did try. We did try, and it's not an easy thing in the industry to get anywhere.
Okay.
Okay. So as soon as he told us he was, not me, but the guy that paid for his rights.
Yeah.
As soon as he told him that he had some things working, can he be released from his contract?
Okay.
I didn't care. And I told Joe Paletto, my producer, that paid all these people a reasonable amount of money to come on board because he had a plan to do some stories and stuff. He released them. He didn't say, well, I want my money back, or I want 10%, or I want a piece. Just release them. He was kind enough to do that. And even now that we're doing a documentary on the Colombo Wars, meaning all of them, which will start with the last one, which I will be the one to talk about, and we will do flashbacks to all the wars, the other two wars that the Colombos have been involved. I mean, they've been fighting for 30, 40 years. Well, going back from the 90s, I say 30 years. Not now. There's really nothing to fight for anymore. But Gregory would have been on that.
Wow.
He would have been on that. Not for the third war, because he was in jail, but for the first two wars, he was around his father, or he at least knew his father, and he probably heard a lot of stories, and he could tell them. I don't think he was shooting it out with Joe Gallo back then. I don't think he was old enough, but he would probably know enough. So instead, we have a historian, a Jerry Capisi type guy that, spent his life learning and reading, and, he's done several good things.
Yeah.
He'll be on. We'll have some detectives, some FBI agents. So it's going to be a good story.
Yeah.
And again, he would have been there, and other connections I have, even in the real world. I mean, I was showing my Kia dealer.
Yeah.
I said it before. When he got his car, and he's paying a ridiculous amount a month. Not only did I get it cut in half, he got a check also from the dealership.
Wow.
And he was thanking me up and down. Larry, you still got it, my man, my friend. I says, anything, pal. You know that. That's the way we were. Yeah. And unfortunately, somebody took the RV and caused a big problem.
And that's what it.
And this is where we are now. So
and I don't know if it's going to be able to be repaired.
But and again, I'm not going to talk about Little Linda anymore. I'm not going to talk about that other faction or whoever's involved in that faction, because I said I wouldn't.
Okay.
But if things come out,
then we'll talk and discuss it again.
Even if I have to black out names, like the top echelon informant. If somebody puts something out and it's somebody I don't want to bring up their name, I'll black it out. But I say this was written by somebody. Yeah. I'm not even going to give them the credit anymore. And the other thing is the phone call. I told you about them for a while. I was getting all these crazy,
like 67 phone calls.
What we did was we have a new number now for my wife.
Okay.
All the meaningful people have that number. Anybody else has to text the old number. And if we want them to have the new number, they'll get it. But the funny thing is, my inside straight, it's all, the gambling world.
Yes.
We have over and unders on how many calls we'll get a day.
Really?
And also, and also, if a person could pick the exact number of calls or the closest one to it, we have various polls going on. So we're going to keep that phone on. Even though it just sits there on silent, and we check the text all day long, not all day long, 2 or 3 times. And I return the calls, which she does, because she's still my manager and my agent and my wife. So she's got her hands full, but she'll never get involved in any of this. Like I said several times, I'll handle this end.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about the Colombo Wars too. Yeah. Obviously, the two factions was Arena and Persico.
Yes.
What side did you guys think you were the most successful with? Persico? Was he the one you wanted to be with?
I really was in no place to say.
Okay.
Greg played the middle for a while.
Yes.
So there was a possibility he's smart. If he felt it was better to go that way, he would have. But the truth is, he did what was right. He stayed with his boss. He stayed with the boss of the family, even though it didn't look good because they had a lot more people than us. But he turned out to be right. He says, yeah, they got 120 guys. We got 30 shooters. They don't have 30 shooters on the whole 120. And he was right.
Yeah.
It came down to one crew and one other guy that were out there shooting on their side. And on our side, it was even less. You know, we were the only ones shooting.
Yeah.
But he chose that side.
Okay.
I can't get in his head and say why, because I know it's not strictly because that was ethically the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I know there's more that goes on in his brain. It had to be what he thought was best for all of our futures. You know, if we would have sided with Vic and won the war, doesn't mean we were going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Again, this is me talking.
Yes.
But by staying with Persico where he was, and all those guys that looked up to him and trusted him, us winning there, our future was better. There would have been more captains, more good fellas, all from our circle. With Vic, they would have kept going out to Long Island. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Because
I asked that myself. Why did he choose that side?
Yeah. Because you know Frankie Steele. You know Frankie. Of course, you know Frankie Steele. So Frankie Steele was recently on a show, and he was just saying, he said that Persico didn't want to give up the power at all with nothing. That's why he was waiting for Alley Boy to get out so he can give it to Alley Boy.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and he says, you know, sometimes you wonder he's a little bit too greedy, Persico.
Well, listen, you want to talk about the rules. Boss is a boss is a boss until he dies or steps down.
Yeah.
Junior Persico did not step down.
No, he was not.
He didn't die. And as hard as they tried, there was no unanimous vote to vote him out. That would be the other way. There's only those three ways. You can have that opinion. And Frankie has every right to that opinion. Okay? And I don't know that it's greed. It's more ego.
Yeah.
He could have stepped down and gave it to somebody and still got, you know, half the money or whatever. I don't really think, maybe it was some greed too. I'm not going to argue with Frankie over that, but it's definitely a valid argument. A lot of people say he should have stepped down, but he didn't have to. There's other bosses that went away that didn't step down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Vic Musso never stepped down until, you know, there's things coming out now. Somebody else is now the boss, but that's fairly recent. You know, he was away for 20 years and he was still the boss.
100%.
You know, he didn't have to step down.
Yeah.
You can have any opinion you want, but if the rules say those are the three ways the boss goes, and none of those came into play, so Junior was the boss. So Greg had that on his side. Other families couldn't say we were rebels. Turned out, at the end of the day, Arena's side was the rebels. We put the administration in. We went ahead like we were the family. And again, I'm saying we. I don't mean like I was that important, but I was that close to Greg.
Yes.
Things did happen to make me a little more important. And there were Russos and Persicos. So we were the family at the end.
In 2026, where do you see the mob still around what do you think of 2026 mob?
Well,
they're still around. I know that.
I'll tell you what, Nick Pileggi made a comment to me, and he put it in the script that he wrote for me. He said, the mob today is eating roadkill.
Yeah, you're right.
It's nothing like what it used to be. They're a bunch of vultures trying to get what's left of nothing.
Yes.
It's blown up. There's nothing left of it. There's no more trust. There's no more loyalty. There's no more the
shooters.
Rackets, the number business. They can't do that anymore. The state's taking it. We fought that. We improvised. We learned how to get more numbers than the state. We did it online. We did it not online, on the phone.
On the phone.
Just call in the numbers. Don't worry about going to the club or waiting for your number. Just call us.
Yep.
So it's better than walking 2 blocks to the 7-Eleven in the snow. So we knew how to do those things. Yeah. What happened was, part of it is the drugs. That was so easy. That was the easy money. And, you know, something Greg said too to me way back was that, but of course I'm a liar, so I'm just making this up, was that we infiltrated legitimate businesses, the unions and stuff like that. That's going to come back and slap us in the face.
Mm.
So now, all these years, you don't hear about that too much anymore. But
No.
every once in a while, you hear a pinch. Guys shaking down stockbrokers, trying to do insider trading. They're trying again.
Mm-hmm.
Those things. So it's insanity. Try and do the same things that come out with bad results over and over and over. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Stick to the numbers, improvise. Pay more than the state. Sports business. Be fair. Don't charge tax. Those are the things that made us different back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? But they can't do that. They can't figure that out. Oh, everybody's on DraftKings or FanDuel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Until you tell them they don't have to pay tax. They'll find you.
Yeah. And you know what? These days, everyone has got one camera with them. So there's no more shooters. All that stuff is gone.
No, I think that's a good choice. I think that's a good choice. You don't have to kill. That's going to just open up life sentences. Beat a guy up. When he comes back, beat him up again. Eventually, he'll leave on his own. It's better than killing him.
Yep.
It's like in the Bronx Tale. That kid he kept chasing for the money, and he could never catch him.
Mm-hmm.
And what did Chaz say? How much did he owe? He says, you owe me $20. That's the best $20 you ever spent.
Yep.
And it's so true.
Yep.
You know?
100%.
But a lot of them don't think that way. They're going to chase that $20, go beat him up, go back, you know. It's a shell of what it was. They don't have the same caliber people. Now, that's not saying everybody. I know certain names. I mean, I don't know firsthand, although I do speak with guys that are active occasionally. I meet up with them in various places. There are a handful of guys that are still old school, trying to be old school. They're a little smarter than the average bear. They're trying to make some of these changes, like you just said, maybe get away from drugs, maybe not kill everybody, maybe not go on podcasts if you're supposedly an active boss.
Yeah.
You know,
Joey Molino.
You did it. You said it, not me. Now, I don't want him attacking me now. I didn't say him. But this guy, and I'm sure he's not the only one, but, you know, but the world's different. The world is different. So, you know, if he wants to use that as a forum to attack rats and attack people, he's got that right. But it's not really good for that life if you're talking about it. But I get it, you know, and plus he's probably promoting his Philly cheesesteak place.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that either.
No.
You know, but there are some old school guys that want to, you know, say something about it or whatever. You know, and again, that's not for me to say. I walked away, I left, I signed out, I retired. I do the same thing again under the same circumstances. Different circumstances, I'd have a hard time sleeping, or I wouldn't have done it. But under the circumstances, there was no other choice.
Now you have the betting you have the betting business, correct?
Inside Straight, yes.
Inside Straight, yeah.
It's more consulting, telling people percentages, who the best bets are, who the wise guys are betting, things like that. And I have people that are offshore, where it's legal. And I even have a manager in Vegas, and I have a manager in Atlantic City that stay in touch with me through Inside Straight to get information that I have, or what I handicap. So it's all legit. I mean, it's a consultant business, and you know, it's an expertise I got over the years, and I'm not ashamed of that. You know, and anybody that was in that life and would have spent the time that I did learning about it and earning on it and making a fortune on it, could still be doing it today.
Yeah.
But they come home and they don't know what to do with themselves. They just they can't reinvent themselves, and they can't move forward. Yeah. Even if they say they want to, even if they say kids should never do this, they should never blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, they come and they do it again. So.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of our Knicks, the New York Knicks? They're looking good.
Last night, I got to be honest. I said I think they'll win the game, but I think it's a little too many points. I said 6.5, 7. That's a lot. You know,
that was a lot.
First game, and also they didn't play for like a week and a half or something.
Yeah, it was like a week and a half. You're about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I said that and up to that point, I was right. They were behind the whole game.
Oh, the whole game there. Yeah, the whole game.
But they wore them down, and they actually covered the spread.
It was amazing.
How did that happen? So anyway, but
you think they're gonna win?
My analysis to the exclusive people I have was, I thought it would be a tight game. I'm not sure the Knicks would cover that spread. Game one is tough. Now I'll have to reevaluate to say, like tonight, I watched the sentiment and I see reading. I was looking all day, and most people think because Oak City lost the first game, oh, they're going to come back strong. I don't know that they have an answer for that kid.
No, you might be right. You might be right.
So again, maybe they win, but it's still 7 points. It's a lot of points.
A lot of points.
You know, I don't know if I can lay the 7. That's what I'll say. I'm going to say I got another hour or so. I'm going to get online soon, look it over, and I'll make my decision. You know, hopefully I'm right. I'm right more than I'm wrong. That's all I can say.
Well, Larry, like always, you're a great guy, and hopefully, you know, things will work out.
Say I'm in my new life, I'm a good person.
You are.
Great guy, maybe a little too much. And I never, you know, I never forget my past where I wasn't a great guy, where I was a bad guy. Okay. Yep. But I think everybody else should look in the mirror.
Yep. 100%.
Right. Okay. If you want to call everybody else names, look in the mirror. You know better. You're probably worse. Yeah.
Well, you know, you always have support with me and my boy John Livia up here. We love you. We think you're the best, you know. All right, Larry, I'll talk to you in a little bit.
I'll talk to you next week.
Yes, next week, brother.
Hopefully it's about positive stuff.
Yes.
Nobody tells you I've been sleeping with Martians. All right.
Larry.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. Jay-Z pumping iron.